Everyone really thinks of Jonathan. When they think about him, they think of his afro, right?
And I look over, and it's the dude with the afro.
And he goes, "It's the guy with the fro." And I was like, "Oh, all right.
Right, but when I think about Jonathan, I really think about his convictions. I really think about how I like to think of him as my radical conscience in a way.
What's so important is that folks like Jonathan continues to stay within organizing circles and continue to do the hard organizing and empowering that it needs to build successful movements, not only in Queens, but throughout New York City and throughout the region.
Jonathan's capacity for hard work is really something to see. And he's continued to show that through his subsequent activism.
I really do believe that Jonathan has been fighting on the front lines in so many different ways since I've known him and heard so much about him.
As I befriended Jonathan after AOC's win, I was impressed of his organizing capacity to work beyond electoral politics.
I've watched Jonathan lead these struggles in the workplace and in the streets over the past couple of years, and Jonathan is not afraid to speak truth to power. The newspapers like to write about it.
You know, we see how Jonathan is always criticized by the liberal media and with the establishment, but you know, he's a thorn in the side that is really needed to really awaken the city.
He represents in a lot of ways like an encapsulation of what the best of what DSA can be in the city council, which is a vehicle for the liberation of marginalized people, especially Black people in Queens in particular in this race, but also in general.
Jonathan announced that he was running for city council. Queens County Politics publication described him as, in the first sentence, as a harsh critic of the Democratic establishment. And to me, that is exactly what we need right now in the city council. We need radical change, and Jonathan is a radical candidate.
You know, you can tell a lot about a person by who their enemies are. And if your enemies are the establishment and, you know, kind of neoliberal media, gentrification, Politico, et cetera, giants in our world who we are told we have to respect, even though they're, you know, betraying working people in our city. If those are your enemies, then that means you're doing a lot right.
I really do hope that everyone does come together, you know, and support him, not just financially, but make sure we hit those phone calls. What do we need to do to make sure we get people out to vote?
It's a real thing that we could have somebody like Jonathan, who has actually fought for and advocated for working class folk of all backgrounds. And having him there would be a real win for the left.
And can we get a big woohoo for Jonathan?
1, 2, 3. Woo!